So it is Ad-Darsu Sabiu, lesson number 7. In the last lesson, it was a very interesting rule. Do you remember the name of the rule? Kullu Jama Muannas. Yes. So what was the rule? Let's do a quick recap. So what was the rule about? Whenever you have, what happens in Kullu Jama Muannas? When it is the Jama of Ghair Aqil, then we consider the Jama of Ghair Aqil, we consider this as Wahid Muannas, isn't it? We consider this as Wahid Muannas. Yes. And so whatever we point towards this Jama of Ghair Aqil, whatever noun is pointing, or if it's a verb, if it is a naat, if a naat is pointing towards towards a Jama of Ghair Aqil, or a verb is pointing towards it, or an Ismul Ishara is related to it, any word that is pointing or relating to Jama of Ghair Aqil, it will also be Wahid Muannas. You will have, if you, for example, if you bring the naat of the Jama of Ghair Aqil, that is your this word, the Jama of Ghair Aqil is your manut, and the naat, then the naat will be Wahid Muannas. Okay. Similarly, if you use Ismul Ishara and Badal, okay, what if you're pointing the Ismul Ishara to a noun which is Jama of Ghair Aqil, then what will happen? The Ismul Ishara which you will bring, it should be Wahid Muannas. All right. So this was a small rule that you learned. It's quite interesting rule. If you remember, you can apply this in the Quran also, inshallah. Okay. Now let's begin the lesson. Abwabul masjidi maftuhatun. Abwabul masjidi maftuhatun. What is the translation? Doors of the masjid are open. Okay. Maftuhun is what? Open. Okay. So you can, as you can see, it is a jumla ismiya with the mubtada, abwabu mubtada, and mudaf, al masjidi mudaf ilayhi, maftuhun is the khabar, one word khabar. Okay. But if you notice here, abwab, the mubtada is jama, isn't it? And what type of jama is it? Jama of ghair aqil. Babun is ghair aqil. So abwab is the jama of ghair aqil. And if you notice the khabar, what was the rule of mubtada and khabar? That they should match in other than jins. Okay. Maftuhatun. This is wahid and muannas. Maftuhatun is wahid and muannas. Okay. So is it matching with the mubtada in other than jins? No. Abwab is muzakkar and it is jama of ghair aqil. So we will bring this, the khabar, as the khabar which is pointing towards the jama of ghair aqil. You'll bring that as a wahid muannas. Okay. That's why you have the khabar here as wahid muannas maftuhatun, because this is pointing towards a jama of ghair aqil. So number 2, liman hazihil buyutal jadidatu. Okay, liman, whose or to whom belongs, hazihil buyut, these houses, and this is clearly a murakkab ishari, isn't it? Hazihil buyut is what? Murakkab ishari. But then you have jadidatu. So this is the naat of buyut. So how will you translate this from here to here? Hazihil buyutul jadidatu, these new houses. Okay. Did you see? It is hazihi here. But how are we translating this? We will not say this. We'll say these. These new houses. Okay. So when any word is pointing towards jama of ghair aqil, that also should be wahid muannas. Okay. So that's why you have brought hazi here. But in terms of meaning, if you remember, we will translate it in plural. Okay. So these new houses. Okay. Whose are these new houses? So what is the answer? Here li mudiri sharikati. Sharika is a company. Okay. And mudir is what? Director. Director of company. So these house. So here, this here is referring to what? It is referring to the houses. Okay. So what will you say? Here means it actually, the meaning of here will be she or it. Correct? She or it. Now if it is, so if you have to refer to the plural, because here is referring to what? The houses here. Okay. So because it is referring to ghair aqil, jama of ghair aqil, you have brought the here pronoun here. Instead of whom, instead of bringing whom, they belong to the director of the company. Okay, they belong, whom should have been here, but applying the rule of kullu jama muannas, you have brought here, correct? Since it is pointing to jama of ghair aqil, you brought the wahid muannas here. Okay, but how will you translate they? Isn't it? This is pronoun. That's why you're translating it as they. They belong to the director of the company. When it was hazihi here, what is the plural of hazihi? These, correct? Hazihi means this, but because it's a rule of jama, kullu jama muannas, we'll translate this as plural. These houses, correct? But here, how we translate this? They belong to the director of the company. All right. Now, here is mubtada. Li harjar mudir ism majroor wa mudaf ash-sharikati is the mudaf ilayhi. All right. So jar majroor mutalik of the khabar mahzoof. So this is one jumla ismiya. An-nujumu jamilatun. The stars are beautiful. The stars are beautiful. So if you see here, simple sentence, simple jumla ismiya, you have the mubtada here and the khabar. But why is the khabar not matching with the mubtada? The mubtada is plural, jama, and the khabar is wahid. Okay, I think by this time you all are thorough with the rules. So I don't have to repeat it again. Again, the rule of kullu jama muannas is applied because this khabar is pointing towards a jama of غير عاقل. Okay, so we have brought the khabar as واحد مؤنث. Okay, النجوم مبتدا جميلة خبر. هذه الدروس سهلة. سهلة means easy. Okay, these lessons, okay, these lessons are easy. Okay, so this word ad-darsu is what? It is the badal of this hazihi. And if you see here sahlatun, this khabar is also wahid muannas because it has to match with the mubtada. Okay, so to begin with, why did you bring this hazihi here instead of bringing haulai? Because we are applying the rule of kullu jama muannas. So hazihi durus, these lessons. Okay, and now sahlatun, the khabar has to match with the mubtada, so you brought wahid muannas khabar. Okay, so there you have hazihi mubtada, and this is ismul ishara. Ad-durus is the badal, and sahlatun is the one word marfu khabar, the simple jumla ismiya. So hazihi is pointing towards jama of ghair aqil. So again we'll apply rule of kullu jama muannas, and this is the khabar, which is, this information is about the lessons. So we will match it with the mubtada, which is wahid muannas. Okay, that's it. Next, going on to the next sentence. Again here, if you see, lughat is what? Manut, and kasiratun is the naat. All right. So naat has to go along with the manut. Here you can clearly see that the manut is jama of ghair aqil. So naat will be wahid muannas, rule of kullu jama muannas. Isn't it? All the examples here, I mean the whole lesson is focused on the rule of kullu jama muannas. It's very easy. All right, so how will you translate? In India there are many languages, or you can say there are many languages in India. Yes. Aina al-kutubul jadidatu, where are the new books? So aina is ismul istifham, and jadidatu is what? Naat of this word al-kutubu, which is jama of ghair aqil. So again, you have applied the rule of kullu jama muannas. That's why you have brought wahid muannas naat, jadidatu, al-jadidatu. Okay. So where are the new books? The answer is they are in the library. Okay. Here, fil maktabati. They are in the library. So here is what? Mubtada, and fil maktabati is jar majroor muta'alliq of the mahzoof khabar. Okay. Next, tilka sururu maksurun. Tilka sururu. Sururun is the plural of sarirun. Okay. Sarirun is bed. Sururun is the plural of sarirun, beds. Okay. Maksurun is what? Broken. So how will you translate? Tilka sururu, these beds. These beds are broken. Maksurun, broken. Okay. Tilka sururu. So tilka, as you can see, tilka sururu is clearly murakkab shari. So tilka is pointing towards a jama ghair aqil. So the rule of kullu jama muannas. That's why tilka is here. And remember, this is the ismul ishara lil ba'id. So you will not say these beds. You say those beds. Okay. Those beds are broken. All right. So just remember, whenever you're translating, you have to be careful. Here, hazi is here. Hazihi means this. The plural of hazihi is what? These. And tilka is ismul ishara ba'id, which is we translate it as that, but here it is referring to jama. So we'll say those. Okay, those beds are broken. All right, tilka mubtada is sururu badal, and maksurun is one word marfu khabar. And maksuratun is wahid muannas because it has to match with the mubtada. As-sa'atul yabaniyatu raqisatun. The the Japanese watch. Yaban is what? Japan. Al-Yaban is Japan. Okay. As-sa'atul yabaniyatu. The Japanese watch is raqisatun is what? Cheap. Okay. The Japanese watch is cheap. All right. As-sa'atu is mubtada. Al-yabaniyatu is what? Not of as-sa'atu. So as-sa'atu will be mubtada and manut, and al-yabaniyatu is not. Raqisatun is one word, marfu khabar. All right. Ninth one, hazihi al-humuru lil-fallahi. Hazihi al-humuru lil-fallahi. These donkeys. Humurun is the plural of hamir. Okay. Humurun is the plural of, Humurun is the plural of himarun. Okay, humurun is a plural of himarun, and there are two plurals of himarun, humur or hamir. These are the two plurals of the word himar. Himar means donkey. These are donkeys. So these donkeys belong to the farmer. Okay, hazihi you will say mubtada and ismul ishara. So al humuru is the badal. Lil falla is the jar majrur muta'alliq of the mahzuf khabar. Okay, again here kullu jama muannas rule is applied. Okay. Aina kutubukunna ya akhawatu. Where are your books, O sisters? Okay. Where are your books, O sisters? Here, fil firstly. They are in the classroom. Fasl is what? Classroom. So here is what? Mubtada fil firstly jar majrur muta'alliq of the khabar. Hazihi kutubi wa tilka kutubu ukhti. These are my books, and those are books of my sister. Okay, tilka, those, and this tilka, why I'm translating tilka as those, because it is pointing towards the books, which is jama of ghair aqil. So books are those books are my sisters. Okay, those are my sister's books. So how will you do the analysis of the sentence? Hazihi mubtada. Okay, these are my books. So hazihi mubtada, and kutub is what? Khabar. Kutub is khabar, and mudaf ya mutakalim is mudaf ilayhi. Okay, so the khabar has to match, the mubtada and the khabar have to match in other than jins. So kutubin is what? Jama of ghair aqil, and jama of ghair aqil we consider it as wahid muannas. So that's why the mubtada should also be wahid muannas. Okay, because this is pointing towards a jama of ghair aqil, wahid muannas, kullu jama muannas rule. So this is one jumla ismiya, waw harfu ataf. Tilka is mubtada. Kutub is what? One word marfu khabar. Okay, and mudaf. It is the khabar and mudaf. Ukhti is what? It has two nouns. Ukhtu and ya mutakallim is the mudaf ilayhi. So the word ukht here plays two roles. It is the mudaf ilayhi of kutub, and it is mudaf. It is also the mudaf of this ya mutakallim, my sister. Okay. So tilka mubtada, kutub is the khabar, and ukht is what? Mudaf ilayhi wa huwa mudaf, ya mutakallim mudaf ilayhi. All right. Next, hazihi makatibut tullabi. Hazihi makatibut tullabi. Makatib is the plural of maktabun. Maktabun is what? Desk. Correct? The writing desk. So this makatib is what? It is a plural of maktabun, desks. So these are the desks of the students. These are the desks of the students. Hazihi mubtada, makatibu is the one word marfu khabar, and makatib is also mudaf, at-tullabi is the mudaf ilayhi. Okay, so this is one jumla ismiya again where you have applied the rule of kullu jama muannas. Why is this hazihi written here instead of haulai? Because this is pointing towards a, this is the mubtada and makatib is the khabar. The mubtada is pointing towards a khabar which is jama of ghair aqil. So that's why the mubtada will be wahid muannas. Okay. في هذا الشارع فنادق كبيرة. In this street there are many hotels. Okay, fanadiqu is the plural of fundukun. Fundukun means hotel. Fanadiqu is the plural of fundukun, which means hotels. So fi hazi shari fi harjar. Haza is what? Ism majroor, and ashari is badal. Okay, and this is in majroor state. The badal is in majroor state. Why? Because it follows its ismul ishara in all four properties. Okay, because haza is ism majroor and it's in jar state. Okay, shari is also in jar state. Fanadiku is what? When your sentence is beginning with jar majroor, it will be jar majroor muta'alliq of the khabar mahzuf muqaddam. Khabar muqaddam, and fanadiku is what? Mubtada muakhar. Okay, so this is fanadiku is mubtada muakhar, and it has one more rule. Okay, muakhar, and it is also manut. Okay, many hotels. So kabiratun is the naat of fanadiku. And fanadiku, you can see it has only one haraka at the end. Okay, so this is a different type of noun, which has the nouns which end with one haraka. As you're seeing in different lessons, you're learning about these nouns, but you will learn about these nouns in detail at the end of this book very soon, inshallah. Okay, just wait for it. Right now, it's enough for you all to just memorize that certain words which are ending with one haraka, you just need to keep in mind. Okay, that's it. So kabiratun is naat of this man'ut. Okay, so we'll end the class here so that the class time is up. So we'll continue next week. Whatever remains from your lesson and the exercises, we'll try to complete it next week, inshallah. So jazakumullahu khairan for your patience. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilaik. See you all next week. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.